Hello, I'm David.
Hi, I'm Julie.
Now we're going to do a review of Steam Up, a Feast of Dim Sum, which is for 2 to 5 players, 40 to 60 minutes, ages 8 and up. That's about accurate, although younger players who are not reading independent would need help with the cards. But otherwise, yes, a young person can handle this game.
Oh, yeah.
Now you'll see that we're playing with the deluxe edition pieces, but that doesn't affect the gameplay. It just looks cooler. So this is a set collection game where you're trying to score the most points after so many steamers have been bought or after all fate cards have been played. Now you're going to have 18 fate cards, and except for the first round, you're going to draw one every round. And then you'll have this track here to keep track of how many steamers that are bought. In a 2 or 3 player game, the game will end after 12 steamers are bought, or sometimes steamers can be removed through cards, and that also will move this track. In a 4-player game, it's 16 steamers, and in a 5-player game, it's 18 steamers. You'll have different animals of the Chinese zodiac that are customers that you'll be playing will have different abilities. You'll see here, this is how we ended the game. We ended the game by buying steamers, not by going through all the fate cards. And you'll keep track here of your points. At the end of the game, whoever has the most points wins. You'll get... You're trying to remember how it was. So you're not supposed to give away how it ended, but that's all right. Somebody won, obviously. Now you get bonus points for every 2 fortune cards that you haven't played. So Julie got a bonus point for 1 bonus point for 3, and I got 1 bonus point for 2. So every 2 you get 1 point. However, you'll have these food tokens. For every 2 food tokens that you haven't used at the end of the game, you'll lose a point. And you'll see this is our track. The object, the main way to get points is by using these food tokens to get steamers. So if, say I had the Phoenix Claw, the meat token, and the barbecue meat token. If I had these 3, well, let's say I didn't have these 3, and I had 2, with 1 action I can get the barbecue dim sum, and then as my second action, because you have 2 actions per turn, I can spin these and get these 3 dim sum. And then as I place them on the board, I get points. So I get 1 point for placing this one. This goes off the board. I won't get any points for that one if you go off the board. And that was a terrible play for me. But let's say I didn't have these 2 here. I would get 1, 3, 5, and I'd move up on the track 5. Normally, obviously, it wouldn't be this far along. Now, you saw when things do go off the board, there'll be cards that says whoever has the most dim sum gets something, or whoever has the least dim sum gets something. But at the end of the game, if there's a tie, whoever has the most dim sum, including the ones that are off the board, you get points. So let's take a look at the other actions you'll be doing. Every player will get 2 actions, but you can't repeat them. So I can gain a token, which you saw me do, and then I can purchase a steamer with the tokens I have. Now, what are the actions in the middle here? You can draw a fortune card and then rotate the table 90 degrees counterclockwise or 90 degrees clockwise. You can play a fortune card and rotate, or you can discard 2 fortune cards to get a second food token. So that's one way to get 2 tokens on a turn. You gain a token and then you discard, exchange fortune cards for a token. So the board will rotate like this, and you'll see it lines up with arrows. One way to keep track of zones is to use these rings. But you'll see when I mentioned the review, they move around and they're kind of pointless. Although they are useful maybe for the 4 or 5 player game. So I have access to this teamer and this teamer. Julie would have access to none of them if I rotate it like this, because so many have been bought. But it could be a situation where we both have access to the same steamer. What would be right here? I have access to this one, and we share access to this one. So it's possible I could purchase this, or Julie could purchase this before I could if we had the same tokens. So let's score the most points. The cards, there are some differences in the cards here. You can play with more take that cards. So here's a fortune card here with that little mark here in the bottom right hand corner, a tiny little star there. This is a take that card. Choose a player and roll the lucky die. Take one of their tokens matching the result. So this is, you can play without these if you don't want to have a more confrontational game. Same with the fortune cards. You'll draw these fortune cards except for the first turn at the beginning of each turn. So this one here is not a take that card. The player with the fewest dim sum draws a dim sum from the bag and places it on the board, on their board. But one that is to take that, if I can find it here. Where's it at? I can't believe I guess we didn't play with any of them.
Oh, I thought we did.
Oh, here you are. Here's one.
Okay.
Okay, each player returns one token matching the die result to the supply if they have any. So this is a bad result. So that's why you can play without those. And the die is missing the number 4 because the number 4, according to the rule book, is considered an unlucky number. And so if you normally in the retailer edition you'd have these pieces and you could draw these out of the bag and not know what they are. But when you're playing with the deluxe pieces, it's too easy to tell what the Phoenix claws are. So every time we have to draw out of the bag, we roll the die and then look for it in the bag. So whoever scores the most points at the end of the game wins.
Pretty easy.
So that is a quick little overview. Hopefully you get a chance to check out the how to play and playthrough.
And now we are going to give you our positives, our positives, negatives, and our neutrals. And once we're done with that, we'll tell you how we rated it on the BGG scale. And please excuse my voice. I'm fighting allergies right now.
All right, why don't you take a little drink real quick before
Let
you
me
start.
do that real quick.
Because you're going to be all scratchy the whole time.
Okay, here we go. I thought this was a super fun set collection game. I really, really love this. I was so excited to play this game. Did not disappoint me at all. I think that the pieces of the components are just amazing, except for the dice. I just kind of wish it was etched or something because it looks like it could peel off.
It's sticky. It's a sticker.
Yeah, it was kind of
here's the
disappointing
deluxe
compared
pieces
to
right there.
the deluxe pieces.
Did I just lose one on the floor?
I don't know.
Oh, it's right here. Okay.
So they're really, really nice.
Yeah.
They feel nice in your hand.
And they stack.
They stack really nice. All right, what else did I say? The art is really nice. I really like who did it. It's just very pretty. It's very fun. It just makes you happy to look at it. It's just really cute. I mean, look at that guy. He's playing drums. I mean, come on. Or no, he's eating.
He's chopstick. But maybe
It's because he's a drummer, so I thought I saw drumsticks.
One thing I didn't mention is that there's 12 animals of the Zodiac, and they recommend that you play these with the teacup.
Teacup.
And then there are ones that don't have that, maybe take a little bit more. See, there's different abilities that they have.
And then if you turn them over, it tells you what year that they are. So it was fun last night to figure out. I was the dragon, and David played the dragon, and I played the pig, and David was the pig.
Yeah, we didn't even know.
We didn't even know.
Right.
So
and then
really
they have
fun.
a couple here that are for three or more players.
And my other thing I was going to say is on the back of the cards, it does, give you a little
History.
information about it, which is fun. And my only neutral is that there is some take that, but you can take some cards out so it's not so take that,
But
especially if
even
you're playing
then,
with little fries.
Remember, you can rotate this to deny
That's
people
true.
things. So there's always going to be a little bit of take that, even if you don't play with those cards.
But it's not like super, super mean like some games can be,
Yeah.
which I'm okay with. It's very minimal, so I'm okay with
So you
that.
said fun information on player cards. Now,
Yeah.
I did forget to mention that each customer has an ability. So my ability is that if I buy a steamer of 2 dim sum, I get +1 hardy point. It says hit point. 3 dim sum, I get +2 hardy points. And if I get a 4 dim sum, I would have to have those 4 tokens. I'd get 3 hardy points. Where Julie can switch sticky rice for shrimp tokens if she wanted to do that. But her board, now that you've seen this, she scores points a lot quicker than me, whereas I get bonus points for buying steamers with more food in it.
And these were random. David mixed them up, so it wasn't like I got to see this
Well, you get 2 at the
beforehand.
beginning.
You get 2 at the beginning, and this was one of my
Yeah.
2, and I chose this
You
one.
chose that one, I chose that. And
Yep.
you could see who won. It was close, though.
It was very close.
Okay, so let's see what I had to say.
Oh
Okay.
my goodness
So it's a
sakes.
fun set collection, score the most points, food theme game. It's easy to learn, teach, and play. There was a pleasure to read the rule book. There was only a couple things they're there, they're buried, but it wasn't so bad that you
Right.
wouldn't remember. For instance, you can only stack 5 high because you can move steamers around.
Oh, yeah.
It's a medium weight planning and strategy, meaning that when you're planning your turn and you have to rotate something and you got to think ahead of time, what tokens do I need to get something? it will require some strategy, and if whether or not you're going to use a card. Some cards have to be played first. You leave face up before you can use them. So it might be something like, you play this card, and then in a future turn, if you make a column, you get an additional point. And some of the animals are like that too, like the pig here. When columns are completed, you get bonus hardy points. So this requires some planning here because you're trying to complete those columns.
And I had to do that last night.
Yeah. So it's medium weight. Some people say, oh, it's light. Well, for some people, it would be a little bit more difficult than others. So most deluxe pieces are amazing. Like Juliet, the sticker die is a disappointment. It's a disappointment. And the player rings, because they move around,
I forgot about the rings.
you don't want to play with them.
Yeah.
And you may want to see in the rule book is, so this is my zone and this is Julie's zone. You don't use that zone in the 2-player. And then if you want to know what the 3-player is like, I'll show right here. They don't have a chart though for 4 and 5 players. So I guess using the rings would be helpful.
I think so.
So instead of the rings, we use these counters. So I'm red. I'm in between this area and Julie's blue, and we share if anything's right there, as you see. So introduces more luck, and take that with cards in action. So some people like set collection games where there's less luck. This has more luck than Azul, for instance. In Azul, you're drawing the counters out of the bag, but you're not introducing cards or a die in that game. It's pretty much...
That's a good point.
So this is, right here, this part of the game is Azul, but now you have cards and a die on top of it.
Yeah.
So just keep in mind there's more luck involved. Now it's an annoying setup.
This is true.
So set up the game. Now if you're playing with the counters, it's a little easier. You just draw it and place it in there. You've got to have steamers with 2, steamers with 6 steamers with 2 dim sum, 6 steamers with 3 dim sum, and 6 steamers with 4 dim sum. So the way you got to do it out of the bag, you put them all in the bag if you're playing with the deluxe components. And then the way we do it, now it gives you a couple options, but
I like the way we do it.
We do it, we go like this. We create a roll like this.
As best we
can. And then, okay, that goes into here, that 2 goes here, this goes here, see? So the setup takes a little bit more time than a game of this weight than I expect. So it's a little bit more annoying, so it's a minus. It might be that if I'm not in the mood to deal with the setup, I might say, let's play something else. It's annoying enough for me that I'd be like, I don't want to deal with it. Okay? But if I'm in the mood for it, that's going to affect my rating. So it does have social studies and math enrichment. The math obviously is keeping score, as you see right here. There's definitely math involved, and then the logic of it and rotating. That's pretty cool. And the social studies enrichment is just the culture of Chinese culture for enrichment. Now, could you tie this into a lesson? If I were to do this in the classroom, it would be for a gaming club, and as a reward for students that might have completed a cultural unit, and if they were done with their work, I might offer this game to them. But the game is complicated enough that I would have to have taught it to them.
Oh, sure.
In a game club.
Sure.
So I would not lead a unit with this. It would be as part of a cultural unit that would be for enrichment.
Oh, that'd be neat, yeah.
And then, for homeschoolers, this would be great.
Oh, heck yeah.
So I'm neutral on this because we haven't played it enough. I don't know how the game dynamics are with 3 and 4 and 5 players. Would there be more downtime waiting for other people? Because you really can't plan too far ahead. Because this can rotate. You might be going for something, and then people are rotating it like this. So
and they take it from you.
So you kind of have to wait a little bit until your turn comes around. So you could be waiting too long with a 4 or 5 player game.
I think you would be.
And then I don't know if the animals are exactly balanced.
Oh.
Now I did figure out the last time we played, I should have done something to deny Julie points. Because see how Julie gets a lot of points as she goes to the right here with her favorites? At the end of the game here, I should have denied her something and waited a turn to do what with me being more experienced now, I'd have to do more take that actions to deny her points, because I don't think my loyal customer, my dog, is as good as her seafood lover. So this character, for instance, encourages more take that to deny someone who gets points easier. So that it might only with more plays would we know
Right.
if it's balanced. It may not be. And so but that can be an advantage if you want to give the easier one to a less experienced player and you take a harder one.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could decide not to play with certain ones that are maybe too easy to get points.
True.
But that would only be after so many plays.
Right.
All right, so let's take a look at our rating.
Okay. Oh, you only gave it a 7.
So usually one in the play, I don't know after more plays if it will drop down to play in the mood or this rise up.
Wow.
Because we'll do our top games of 2023. Will it rise up higher after more plays, or will it drop down because of balance issues? Will it require more finessing to make it more balanced?
I see.
Right now, though, if Julie said, hey, you want to play Steam Up? I'd be like, sure.
I really had fun with it. I love the pieces. I love that it really made my brain think. I really had to plan ahead, even though, like David said, that the table can turn. And so I had to, kind of figure out, oh, well, if it turned, maybe I should plan for this in case, just ahead of time. I've got time because the steamer isn't going down. I'm not going to lose anything. But I love the pieces. I just love everything about it. And I do help him set it up. So, but I have to admit, he reads all the rules. He does the majority of the setup stuff. I can do so much.
Yeah, but for a set collection game, this requires more setup than other set collection games.
True.
Is it cool? Yes.
Oh, heck yeah.
But it's one of those things like, do you want to deal with it?
Right. Yeah, if he's too tired, definitely wouldn't happen. If I was too tired, it wouldn't happen because it does make my brain really, which is good. It's good for my brain.
Whereas a game like Azul, put the stuff in the bag, take it out, boom, boom, boom. You're ready to play in less than a minute.
Yeah.
This will take 5 to 10 minutes to set up.
True.
And if you want to play a quick game, you're like,
You want to do Azul.
Right.
Right.
All right, so that is our review of Steam Up. We need to play this more times. We will eventually include this. Will this be in our top 20 games of 2023? Will this even stay in our collection? I'm sure it will stay in our collection.
It'll stay in our collection. It'll be in my top 100 of 2023.
Really? Top 100, huh? We did top 50 last year.
Oh, top 50?
We don't know if we'll do a top 50. Maybe we'll only do a top 10 or top 20.
Maybe something small. It's really hard for me to do these top 50s. It takes a lot out of me.
Well, we did it just because we played 53 of them.
That's true.
All right, but anyway.
Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye.